With Disney Plus having just released the all-new Star Wars TV show Andor, we thought it would be a good idea to take a look at the lay of the land and explore the state of the galaxy, both politically and for the average man in the street. We could talk in length about this subject, but we'll try to keep things brief so it's easy to digest and understand. So with that being said, let's get to it. The closest media that is set prior to Andor is Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, while we don't get too much of a glimpse into either the Rebellion or the Empire, we do get to see how the Imperials have started taking over star system after star system. Take Han Solo's homeworld of Corellia, for example. The Empire has taken over its construction yards, and they are being used to produce ships for the Imperial Navy, including Star Destroyers and TIE Fighters. The Empire has a strong presence on Corellia, though they do give local law enforcement a little freedom to enact and enforce their own laws and rules. This freedom is just a sham though, allowing for residents of the planet to get used to the Empire's presence before it erodes all those freedoms away entirely. It's a smart manipulative move on the Empire's part, and we think that's something we might end up seeing in the Andor TV series. Cassian might have to deal with interfering law enforcement agents who have to answer to the Imperial powers that be. It's an interesting dynamic where the local law enforcement has a lot of power, yet ultimately no power at all. On the other hand though, we also see what a PR, recruitment juggernaut the Empire is. They have conscription videos in which they glorify being in the Empire, making it out to be a system through which the galaxy could be changed for the better. It looks fun and it looks exciting. People started to believe what they were seeing and hearing. They became brainwashed by the constant bombardment of positive PR, and this is how the Empire never ran out of recruits and ultimately cannon fodder. As a side note, this is an effective and horrific tactic we unfortunately see in the real world too. Another piece of media that might help set up the state of the galaxy is the opening scene of Rogue One, a Star Wars story, as well as the small flashback within it. The Empire is constructing the Death Star, and all useful personnel are being conscripted, against their will, to work on the top secret project. We see how director Orson Krennic slowly sunk his claws into scientist Galen Erso, at first trying to convince him to return to the project of his own free will, before taking him by force when he refused. It is this veiled evilness behind a kindly and helpful facade that helped the Empire get a foothold across the galaxy. And once they reached a tipping point, there was no stopping them, and there was nothing the ordinary man in the street could do to stand up to them. If you force the Empire to drop the public-friendly facade, you may well end up not liking what you see. This is how we think the Empire will be portrayed for the average galactic citizen in the Andor TV series. They will sweep in under the pretenses of protection from any insurgents, claiming they will help the people and make things better. The reality is far, far different. People either get behind the Empire and support them, or suffer their wrath. For those that don't follow, the galaxy can be a very dangerous place indeed. This unfortunate mindset is something that Cassian may have to deal with in the show, breaking through to people that they are either brainwashed or downtrodden. Now we come to the state of the Senate. We know from Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, that Chancellor Palpatine transformed it into the first galactic empire, and as the Emperor has placed himself at the head of the Senate. However, if you have ever had the pleasure of seeing the Revenge of the Sith deleted scenes, you will know that there were a small band of senators that resisted, led by Padme Amidala and Mon Mothma. You should really check out those deleted scenes, by the way. It really does explain the political formation of the rebellion, and it's a shame they were cut from the final movie. Anyway, as Padme unfortunately died at the hands of Darth Vader, it is down to Mon Mothma to covertly and quietly maneuver things politically, hoping to gain more traction for her own rebellion while undermining the Empire's takeover of the galaxy. By the look of what we see in the trailers, Mon Mothma will have the unenviable and dangerous task of outwardly supporting the Empire while working against it behind the scenes. There are many different rebel cells out there, and she needs to coordinate them and bring them together as a rebel alliance. While the show looks like it's going to be gritty and dirty, we love that there's going to be a political thriller running alongside it. It's a nice way of showing how two very different people are working towards the same goals. One last thing we want to mention, and we've touched on it already, are the different rebel cells already forming. We have Cassian and whatever he is doing, but we also have Enfys Nest and her Cloud Riders from Solo, a Star Wars story, and Saw Gerrera from the Clone Wars and Rogue One. Both of those are more militant, especially Saw. He is fighting the Empire in the wrong way, And while he causes a lot of trouble for the Imperials, his brutal tactics that often cause civilian casualties isn't helping the Rebel Alliance gain any legitimacy. We think it will be interesting to see how the more extreme rebels play into the show. But there you have it. We think we've painted enough of a picture about the state of the galaxy going into the Andor TV series. It's certainly a scary, dangerous and uncertain place, especially if you get on the wrong side of the Empire. But how will Cassian, Mon Mothma and other rebel cells deal with them? We're just going to have to wait and see.
Time has come to force our hand.
At what cost?
Everything!
So, what are your thoughts on the state of the galaxy during that time period? We'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions, so drop them down below in the comments section. Thanks for watching, and as always, may the Force be with you.